In the genesis of existence, naught existed but the vast and enigmatic expanse, referred to as Greninja's abyss. From this unfathomable void, the very first realms took shape. To the south, Muspelheim emerged as a radiant land engulfed in unrelenting flames, fiercely guarded by Sur and his blazing sword. Meanwhile, Niflheim came into being to the north, a frigid domain cloaked in perpetual fog, where the spring heifer Gilmer resided, giving rise to the primordial rivers. These rivers flowed outward into the abyss, progressively freezing as they ventured further from their source, eventually crystallizing the northern reaches of the void into an icebound wasteland. The vaporous exhalations from this frozen landscape coalesced into layers of rime. In stark contrast, the southern reaches of the abyss were bathed in the warmth of sparks and embers emanating from Muspelheim. These fiery elements created a gentle breeze that drifted towards the icy north. As this warm breath touched the frosty rime, it prompted its transformation, causing droplets to merge and take on life, ultimately giving birth to Ymir, the progenitor of the frost giants. Remarkably, as Ymir lay slumbering, the sweat from his left armpit engendered 2 offspring while his legs gave rise to a 6-headed son. From this celestial coupling emerged the first frost giants. The moisture from Ymir's icy body formed the nurturing cow Ladamel, whose milk provided sustenance by licking the salt-encrusted stones encircling her and Ymir. It was during her stone-licking endeavor that she made a significant discovery. On the first day, her efforts unveiled the presence of a man's hair beneath the stones. Subsequently, his entire head was revealed on the second day, and by the third day, he was entirely uncovered. He was soon entangled in bonds of matrimony with Besler, the daughter of Jaya. Their union bore fruit in 3 children, with Odin being the eldest, followed by Vili. The 3 brothers, Odin, Vili, and Ve, would embark on a fateful journey. Together, they took the life of the giant Ymir, resulting in a torrent of blood that deluged and drowned all the frost giants, save for Bergelmir. He ingeniously constructed an ark, rescuing himself and his wife, thus becoming the forebears of the frost giant lineage. Odin and his brothers harnessed Ymir's remains to shape our world today. His blood gave rise to seas and lakes, while his flesh formed the foundation of the land. The mountains were molded from his bones, and the rocks fashioned from his teeth. His colossal skull became the arching sky, its 4 corners anchored to the earth. And from Ymir's flesh emerged the dwarfs, each stationed at one of the earth's cardinal points, known as north, south, east, and west. In their divine craftsmanship, the brothers distributed the sparks and embers emanating from Muspelheim throughout the heavens, thereby birthing the stars. These celestial bodies were meticulously arranged to distinguish day from night, thereby initiating the passage of time. As the world took on its circular form, it became encircled by a boundless ocean. The brothers designated territories for the giants along its shores, a realm named Jotunheim. To protect against these colossal beings, they constructed formidable fortifications deeper inland, crafted from Ymir's eyebrows, christening Midgard. The next act of creation involved the beings of great potential, humans. Odin and his brothers extracted the essence of their minds and hurled them into the heavens, giving rise to the clouds. Driftwood served as the foundation upon which these primordial clouds formed. The first humans were born from this ethereal materialization, a man named Ash and a woman named Elm. These progenitors were bestowed with a home in Midgard, where their descendants continue to dwell. The divine architects also constructed a majestic city at the world's heart named Asgard. Odin ascended to the throne as its ruler in this magnificent realm, and Frigg, a paragon of beauty, became his wife. She bore him the Aesir, the divine deities who resided in Asgard. In light of this, Odin earned the moniker All-Father, as he was not only the progenitor of the gods, but also mankind. To bridge the various realms, the gods erected the Bifrost, a structure known to humans as a rainbow. Adjacent to this resided Heimdall, the guardian of the bridge. Heimdall possessed impeccable sight, capable of piercing both night and day. His visage featured golden teeth, and in his possession, he wielded Gyllerhorn, a horn whose echoes reverberated throughout all worlds. In the frosty domain of Jotunheim, a giant named Nordred begot a daughter named Night. She, in turn, gave birth to a son named Day. Odin took night and day under his wing, entrusting each with a horse and chariot, tasking them to traverse the heavens. Night steered her chariot, and Day controlled the movement of the moon. Their celestial journey was relentless, driven by an unceasing chase. In pursuit were two formidable wolves, Skoll and Hati, who harbored an insatiable desire to devour the luminous siblings. 9 wells emerged to house the diverse beings of the universe. Asgard became the dwelling place of the gods, while humans inhabited Midgard. Alfheim was designated for the Light Elves, and Svartalfheim, also known as Nidavellir, was bequeathed to the dwarves, often referred to as the Dark Elves. Jotunheim was ceded to the giants, and Vanaheim became the abode of the Vanir, a group of sagacious fertility deities. In the primordial tapestry, Niflheim and Muspelheim occupied their roles as the cosmological progenitors. And finally, Hell stood as the realm for those who met dishonorable ends in life, serving as their afterlife abode. These realms were all interconnected by the immense ash tree, Yggdrasil, with 3 colossal roots anchoring it. The first root reached skyward, extending above the Well of Urd, where the divine council convened daily. Beneath this root resided the Norns, 3 prophetic maidens who wove the threads of human destiny. The second root descended into Mimir's well, the fount of wisdom. Lastly, the third root delved deep into the spring of Virgelmr, where the primordial rivers originated. This root was ceaselessly gnawed upon by the dragon Nidhogg. Atop Yggdrasil's branches rested a giant eagle named Hraesvelgr, responsible for stirring the winds whenever it took flight. Nearby, a mischievous squirrel named Ratatosk darted up and down the tree, facilitating a spirited exchange of insults between the eagle and Nidhogg, perpetuating their age-old feud. Odin, the Allfather and ruler of Asgard, possessed an insatiable thirst for knowledge. To quench it, he sought the wisdom held within Mimir's well. Yet, the well's guardian, Mimir himself, was reluctant to part with its secrets. It took a solemn sacrifice from Odin, who gouged out one of his eyes and offered it to the well's depths to prove his worthiness. Impressed by Odin's resolve, Mimir allowed him to drink from the well, bestowing upon him profound intelligence. Odin's quest for wisdom did not end there. He sought the Norns, who wielded runes, Nordic letters with potent knowledge. Yet again, Odin had to prove himself worthy. He suspended himself from one of Yggdrasil's branches, impaled upon his spear, and imposed upon the gods not to provide sustenance. He endured this self-inflicted torment for 9 arduous days and nights until the runes finally unveiled their wisdom. With this newfound knowledge, Odin could harness runic magic, wielding it to shield his allies or defeat his foes. Odin's ultimate purpose lay in preparing for Ragnarok, the apocalyptic event heralding the world's end. In a desperate effort to postpone this climactic confrontation, Odin dispatched his Valkyries, a cadre of divine maidens, to every battle, determining the victors and the fallen. The courageous souls chosen by the Valkyries found themselves in Odin's grand hall in Asgard, known as Valhalla. In Valhalla, Odin presided at the head of a vast feasting hall, accompanied by his 2 loyal ravens, Hugin and Munin. These avian messengers set forth into the world each day at dawn, returning to relay the events of the mortal realm to Odin. The warriors dwelling in Valhalla were known as the Einherjar and engaged in daily battles with each other. When Ragnarok descended, they would sally forth from the hall, shoulder to shoulder with the gods, to confront the forces of chaos. Thor, Odin's son and the protector of humanity, was the mightiest of the gods. Adorned with a magnificent mane of fiery red hair and a glorious rosy beard, Thor traversed the skies in a chariot drawn by 2 goats. Though prone to anger, Thor's intentions were benevolent, yet he often found himself trapped in the tricks of Loki, the god of mischief. Thor was wed to the goddess Sif, who fell victim to Loki's capriciousness. Loki's humor led him to shear Sif's golden hair, which caused great consternation for Thor. To remedy the situation, Loki promised to secure a new head of hair for Sif from the skilled dwarves. Loki fulfilled his promise, and the dwarves crafted a radiant head of hair for Sif and an indestructible hammer, Mjolnir. During the forging of the hammer, however, a fly bit one of the dwarves, impairing his vision and resulting in an unusually short handle for Mjolnir. Despite this flaw, the hammer proved an extraordinary weapon, with unfailing accuracy and always returning to Thor's grasp. Loki, the god of mischief and a son of the giant Farbati, was a mercurial figure, aligning with or against the Aesir as it suited his whims. He frequently outwitted and played pranks on Thor and other deities for his amusement. Over time, Loki's harmless mischief escalated, and he became a sworn enemy of the Aesir. Loki fathered several children, including Hel, who presided over a realm that bore her name. Among his other offspring were the Midgard serpent, Thor's perennial rival, and the monstrous wolf Fenrir. Loki's malevolence reached its zenith when he orchestrated the demise of Balder, Odin's beloved son and the most exquisite of the gods. Balder, sensing his impending fate, sought the protection of his mother, Frigg. She invoked a blessing upon him, rendering him impervious to harm from any weapon, mundane or divine. The gods engaged in a game to amuse themselves, attempting to harm Balder. Their weapons, however, were futile as they harmlessly rebounded off him. Loki, incensed by Balder's invulnerability, donned a guise of a woman and approached Frigg. Inquiring whether anything could harm Balder, Frigg inadvertently revealed that only mistletoe had been left unsworn to protect her son. Seizing this opportunity, Loki swiftly acquired mistletoe and manipulated Hod, Odin's blind son, into using it as a projectile. Hod's unwitting action led to Balder's untimely demise. The gods, devastated by Balder's death, prayed to Hel to release him from the realm of the dead. She agreed on the condition that every being in the cosmos weep for Balder. The Aesir made this plea a reality, save for one giantess, Loki in disguise, who refused to shed a tear. Thus, Balder remained in the realm of the dead, deprived of resurrection. The Aesir responded by imprisoning Loki in a cavern and tormenting him with the vicious punishment of his children. One son was transformed into a wall, while the other suffered a gruesome fate. Loki was then bound with his son's entrails, a grotesque sentence that would persist until Ragnarok, when he would be free to exact his revenge. Ragnarok, the end of days, marked the time when gods would fall to the forces of chaos, and the world would be engulfed in flames. This cataclysmic sequence began with 3 relentless winters, where conflicts raged across the realm, tearing apart the very fabric of kinship. Subsequently, Fimbulwinter arrived, bringing ceaseless snow and frigid winds. This bitter season they endured for 3 consecutive cycles, with the sun and moon devoured by the relentless wolves that pursued them, plunging the world into darkness. As earthquakes rent the earth asunder, the monstrous progeny of Loki emerged. The wolf Fenrir, his eyes aflame with ferocity, and the Midgard serpent spewing venom across land and sea heralded chaos. The ship Naglfar, crafted entirely from the nails of the deceased, set sail, carrying the frost giants of Jotunheim, accompanied by Loki and the denizens of Hel. They converged to wage war against the gods. Amid this apocalyptic tumult, Surt, the magnificent leader of the soldiers of Muspelheim, stormed forth, trampling Bifrost and sundering the bridge. Nidhogg, the dragon that gnawed incessantly at the root of Yggdrasil, joined the giants in their onslaught. Heimdall, the bridge's guardian, sensed the impending cataclysm and sounded Gyllerhorn, alerting the gods to the twilight of existence. The Aesir and the Einherjar bravely marched to confront the forces of chaos, with Odin leading the charge. Despite Odin's meticulous preparations, the gods met their fate, one by one, until none remained. Frey, the fertility god, clashed valiantly against Surt, but fell to the searing edge of the flaming sword. The guardian dog of Hel wreaked havoc on the battlefield, leading Tyr, the god of war and justice, to sacrifice himself to defeat the beast. Thor, the god of thunder, waged an epic battle against the Midgard serpent, the clash of lightning and venomous fangs resulting in Thor's ultimate demise. Odin, confronting Fenrir, fought gallantly, but the mighty wolf claimed victory, devouring the Allfather. Witnessing his father's fall, Vidar, Odin's son, launched a daring assault on the wolf, thrusting his foot into Fenrir's lower jaw and tearing the beast asunder. Heimdall engaged Loki, and their duel culminated in the demise of both. Surt, in a final cataclysmic act, engulfed the entire world in flames. The conflagration consumed all, bringing about the world's end. Yet, this was not the ultimate finale. A new one could be born from the ashes of the old world if certain beings survived Ragnarok. Those who endured would rebuild the fallen world. Odin's sons, Vidar and Vali, emerged from the ruins of Asgard, accompanied by Modi and Magni. Balder and Hod ascended from Hel and reminisced on the bygone era. 2 humans, sheltered in Hodmir's wood, were among the survivors and would go on to propagate the world. Their descendants would flourish and revel in a time of peace. But the shadow of Ragnarok would loom on the horizon, a reminder that the specter of apocalypse remained even in a new world.